I'm going to show how I stack dummy cakes, and the camera's kind of up here because I want to be able to stack it up. So first I start with the drum. If I'm going to cover the drum, I do it after I put the cake on it, so I just leave it bare. This is just a little bit of tape to hold it still. You can put duct tape on there. I just had packing tape available, so that's what I used. So the first tier, this is all covered in fondant, obviously, if I wouldn't be tossing it around if it was buttercream. Just put it on here. It's way too far over in that direction. And I just covered this so it's a little bit soft still. Just be careful, you can do it, it's not a big deal. Depending on how you're going to decorate it, you can cover up any fingerprints later. So just get it where you want it on the board. This isn't cooperating, let's see. Yeah, it's close enough. I'm not super picky with these. It's a display cake. I could put a flower on a big, there's a spot that's taller than the others. Alright, so that's the first one. Then with the second tier, a lot of times I would put royal icing or something on here, but then if I go to take the cake apart and use the displays again, I can't do that because it just is attached and it will rip off. So what I've started doing, just putting that on the next one. Again, it's centered. A little bit farther over that way. You can use a ruler if you want to be really precise. I am not a square cake person. I don't like the sharp edges. I think they look too harsh. So I'm a little more freeform with that. I'm not going to get my ruler out and be super anal about it. Move it over that way a little bit. That looks good. Okay, so alright, so once I've got this where I want that, just kind of give it a press. You can use a fondant smoother and press that down, but this is going to be covered with the next tier anyway, so who cares if there's my fingerprints on it. Now I'm going to take this as just a shish kebab skewer, and they're sharp on the end. I'm going to hold this so that it's going to go through the drum at the bottom. Let me push this back a little bit. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I want it to go through, all the way through the drum. So I don't want it to sit up here because then it's not going to attach the cake to the board. So I want it to go all the way through here. So I'm just going to hold this up and kind of give it the eyeball. This is a pair of cable cutters. I got these at a hardware store. And I'm just going to try to cut this off fairly level to the top. Alright. And for this tier I'm going to use 4 of them. So just cut those off level using the first one as a guide. Alright. And cable cutters are awesome. Okay, then the next tier is going to be in about 1 inch, so you're going to put this in just a couple inches from the edge. Same thing all around. And then get your hammer. Some people use a rolling pin for this. That's cute, but I don't like using tools for things they're not meant to be used for, and I don't want to wreck my rolling pin. Okay, so that's going to hold this to this. Now I want to make sure that those went into the drum, so I'm going to take one of these little pieces that I cut off, just put it on top, give it a couple more whacks. And I can kind of see that it's going through. Alright, so the next tier is going to go on top. Same thing, you're just going to even this up. Just no. A little bit over that way. And if you're a little bit off, it's not a big deal. This is, like I said, it's a display cake. It's not going to make a huge difference. And especially if you're going to be decorating it with flowers or something, you can put those on to kind of visually make it look more even. Alright, so these, same thing. You're going to take these, I'm going to move this over. You see the creepy clown in the corner there? Alright. These are going to go, let me see. I don't remember where the other ones were. I'm just going to take a chance and put these through, hoping that they don't hit the ones on the bottom since I moved it around. You could put them in closer to the center if you're not sure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Alright, again. Okay. There's that. And if you're wondering, let me show you. See the creepy clown there? He showed up before because the camera moved. That's a painting that I did when I was about 8 years old, and my mother hung it in the bathroom. So it was looking at you while you went in there. Isn't that nice? Alright, so now you've got this. Now you're going to do the same thing with the top. This is going to be out of the camera range. Just make sure it's even. And the reason that I do it this way without the adhesive, glue or royal icing or chocolate or whatever in between the tiers is that if you do want to go and take these apart again, it's a heck of a lot easier to just pull the dowels out than it is to try to peel royal icing off of a styrofoam dummy. So that's the reason I do that. Okay, now I'm going to tilt this up. And this is going to go straight in the middle all the way through. And I'll just bang it. Okay, so I'll show you. That is leveled off at the top. So the way it works, these two are attached to this board. I can feel it. This one is attached to these two, and this one, it goes all the way through to this one. So they're all just like one cohesive unit. You can move that around and nothing's going to happen, and you can decorate it and you'll be all set. And if you want to take it apart, you can do that too.